Am I supposed to start?
Yes, that's your cue.
There's like no countdown. Seriously?
Oh, there was a countdown.
I did not see it. Wait, it already happened? I didn't see it?
Yeah. And now we're being broadcast to at least 100,000 people, so I need you to shape up, okay? And get it together.
Christian, I did not see a
that
countdown.
beautiful Pierre intro.
Storyalises.
No, do something different. Do something different. No.
Oh, Christian, I'm so sorry that I'm faithful to the cause. Alright, folks, we're back. It's Storyalises. Anyway.
I'll take it.
I'll take that, yeah. Yeah, I heard something the other day. I was like, too much, enough tangents. We just started. But yeah, guys, this is like Storyalises. I am Pierre, and he is... Carissa. Yes, he is the charismatic, the noble, the handsome, the tall Chris. Anyway, folks, just keep going. Severance, we're severed, we're back. Innies, outies, season 2, episode 3 and 4. All right, Christian, let's go.
Should we just dive into it? All right.
Let's dive into it.
Okay, so the episode opens with Cobel, the beautiful Cobel. She's sleeping in her car on the snowy roadside. She's awakened by a passing truck's horn. She starts her car. She inserts a cassette tape into the player, and then she starts driving. And then the song that plays, it gives us a slick transition into the next scene where it becomes the background track as we follow Mark as he's getting ready for work. So Mark, he glances at a photo of Gemma before heading to Lumon, and then when he arrives, he does something interesting. He starts a timer on his watch, and then he rushes inside, and he's meticulously timing his journey to the Severance elevator, and then he stops the watch at the 1 minute and 42 second mark, and then he starts counting the seconds under his breath as he transitions into his innie self. It's all part of a clever plan, which gets unveiled later on in the episode.
Yes.
But for now, we take on the perspective of innie Mark. And, are you gonna...
Okay. No, I thought we were just gonna take him by segments, like what he's doing. Oh, you want to wait till we get to the end of the episode? Or just like the reason why he's doing that?
Yeah, we could do that. We could talk about that now.
Yeah. Let's just lump them all. Yeah, so, right, like Ragabi mentioned when she caught up to him, like, what the fuck are you doing? And she said, like, are you trying to pass a message to your innie through your, what homegirl said, through your retina? Right.
Your after image.
Yes, your after image. And then she said that wouldn't work because your pupils get dilated. I love that we do see it. I love a lot, but it's like we see it every time they're in the elevator. After that ding sound, you see it in their pupils, which is like, yeah, that's happening because there's a clean slate. So obviously, this is why you can't sit memories or anything down there, because it's a completely different version of yourself. So yeah, that was pretty cool. Yeah, that's pretty smart.
Really clever thinking.
I know, right? And his sister, Devin, helped. Yeah, that was pretty cool.
It was a little, because I remember when I saw it, I was like, there's no way you can get an after image to last like over 2 minutes. That's insane. But because he would have to look at the light in his car, and then he would have to walk there, right? Because like typically when you see an after image, you look at it, then you immediately close your eyes, then you see the image. Yeah. But yeah, for him to look at the light in his car and then walk to the elevator and then close his eyes, yeah, that would have been hard to pull off.
Right.
Maybe even impossible to pull that off.
That's true. And then there's a bunch of things along his way too, right? Like people he bumps into, that lady that he needs to ask for permission before he can go through, the security guard in front of the elevator. Like, there's too many other images you would see to retain that one.
And then there's other light that's going into your eyes at the same time. It's just overriding the message.
Yeah, I'm glad the writers, or writer, let's say if it's just benstiller and his team, yeah, I'm glad that they probably thought along those lines too and shut that shit down. Politely, of course.
But they still acknowledged it too.
Yeah, yeah, and bring someone that not giving the reason that we just gave, but just straight up, it won't work. Which is an even more plausible reason, because it's all white when you're in that elevator. It's a clean slate. You can't carry anything in there. Plus all the things that we did mention. That's really true. So, since what is any notice Dylan's reluctance? Well, not reluctant, right? We know why, right? Because the prior episodes, he's been told that, hey, bro, you have perks. Now you can see your family. You're the only one with family, so you can't tell your other coworkers about this. We want this hush-hush, and we wouldn't want them to start not trusting you or cause commotion. which was kind of like a subtle blackmail from Milchick. But because of that, because of these perks, Dylan is now less inclined to help out any of his teammates or anything. Like Mark in the beginning of the episode, Mark's like, hey, Flyers, we need to find Miss Casey. Can you help us? He's like, I'm kind of caught up with something right now, but yeah, I'll try it later. Irving, which is basically his best friend, comes by like a minute later. Like, what I drew, can you please come help me find it, that hallway? He's like, you should go by yourself for stealth. And Irving's like, for stealth? So he's like, what nigga? You fucking like what? But that's funny. But you can see it. Like he has like things in place now. Like he has what's the word? He has things at stake. Yes, Christian. Yes. Oh, that's actually finishing shit. Christian, irrelevant, of course, but story analysis work, obviously. One of the shorts that I did about the show, the short with Irving's hallucination, like I literally finished your sentence when you're like, I think his Audi is sick because, and I'm like, his innies, it's sipping into his innie. Something like that. Like what you just did with the crazy shit, man. We're out here finishing sentences. It doesn't even make sense, Christian. It doesn't make sense. It's a hard life.
It's a hard life.
It truly is. You get to see his Audi's wife, Gretchen. Bro, homeboy's like, nice sack. I'm like, my daddy, chill. They have 3 kids. I like that you could tell he marries someone that has like a nice sense of humor. Because she's like, who is that child? And she's like, Miss Wong. And they kind of like laugh just a little. Damn. But at the same time, Christian, innie or not, or Audi or not, like hearing from your wife, Audi's wife is still your wife, in the most polite way possible, that you actually don't have your life together. 3 children later, a full adult. And that she's so supportive. She's trying everything to not be disrespectful about this. She's like, am I a fuck up? And she doesn't answer. She looks down. She's like, but I still love you. You haven't found your place. Like that must be gut wrenching. Like because there's a split, his outside self will never hear this conversation of what your wife thinks of you. And we got a glimpse too, right? Remember when he was looking for a job the episodes prior? And she calls like, hey honey, how's it going? And he's like, oh, that's terrible timing right now. Read the room. And she's like, okay, baby, okay. It was like she sounded like a good wife from what we've seen so far.
Yeah, and because her name is Gretchen, right?
Mm-hmm.
So
yeah.
Gretchen, out of habit, she says, I love you to Dylan's innie during that farewell, and then only to like quickly retract it, which is just highlighting the emotional complexity of the situation.
That is true.
Just the encounter itself, it's blurring the lines between Dylan's innie and his Audi's identities, and then it's raising questions about the ethical ramifications of the severance procedure, and then just the autonomy of the innie themselves. So it's a remarkable scene to put in. It adds a lot more layers to what's happening here. It's getting from a writing standpoint, it's getting very, I can see how it would get very hard to just write this, like to keep everything in scope in your head as you're creating these characters, as you're designing motives, as you're progressing the story. Like it's getting very intricate. So, but they're pulling it off well.
They really are
doing a great job.
They really are. And of course, Christian, I'm black, so I need to mention this. Obviously, just this freaking house slave painting shit. We want you to feel like what the fuck did Natalie tell homeboy? We want you to feel part of Lumon's history. When they gave Milchick this painting of freaking black, just just to associate like Lumon's history, that some of the high characters from the lineage of that foundation of that company were black. Like
yeah,
to be
it's like I think I don't remember if they use this word exactly or if this is the word I was thinking of, but they re-canonicalized. I think that's how you say it. Like because you know what canon means, right? Like,
canon?
Like a canon story. It's like the story. Like, for example, we watched Dark Matter. So the canon story of Dark Matter would be like the book that it was written off of. And then, like a non-canonical version would be like a fan's... Yeah, it'd be like a fan's interpretation of the story. And they write out what it is. So it's like a re-canonical telling of the history of Kier, and then they're making it more inclusive by making him a black man.
Yeah. So, and I like that he saw through it. I love Milchick's characters. Christian, when I tell you devour feculence, I've mentioned that in every reaction we've done of this in season 1. I've been telling you that. Did you get to that episode already? By the way, did you not?
No, I haven't.
Okay, it's all good. It's fine. Yeah, Milchick's character. Oh man, the progression of Milchick's character for this season, Christian. Oof, you're about to see, like, my boy's about to get hit by a light bulb of just humanity.
Okay, no, all right, hold on.
I know, right? That's too
You're
much.
really just chill,
There's so much
bro.
spoilers. But okay, to get back to this, to get back to Pierre's already seen the whole show, folks. Yeah, to get back to episode 3 and 4, episode 3, right? I love that he's able to see through the hypocrisy to the point where he's not receiving this. The reception is not what the board or even Natalie probably would have thought. Like, it's confusion. It's weirded out. It's having to say thank you, of course, because they're bosses. It's a privilege to have given this opportunity anyway. But it's like, this is like irky. This is fucking, like, something about this is not right. Which is why something that is to be, what's the adjective or verb for something that's to be hung on the wall as, you know, as a what? What do you hang on the wall, Christian? Not as a medal, as something you're proud of. He chooses to, a plaque. Yes, sure. Yes, something that tells, hey, I did this and I'm proud of this. This is rewarding. This is something I want to brag to. This is an accomplishment. He chooses to put this aside on some fucking storage room all the way at the top and wrap it back. Just to show you, it's just like, this did not translate the way they did it. And I love that they made the scene the way they did. Because just to show you that there's not even a diversity or inclusion thing. It's just so little thought went into making this man feel welcome. Like, sure, let's just send him a fucking Kier-esque paintings with black people on it. With one of the paintings, some black boy with a bunch of white people around him on a bed. Which is like so weird. It was so weird, but I like that they did that. Because nothing about this company is warm. Nothing about this company is welcoming. You know, these are some of the most sadistic people, in my opinion. Like you mentioned, right, in season 1, how your thesis on this is basically slaving yourself. But to slave yourself, it takes a level of carelessness for your other self. Like, you know, like L.E.R. being told by Helena Egan, like, I will keep you there for as long as I want. If you ever try this shit again, you're not a person. But anyway, this is probably me just extrapolating things like I always do.
I saw an interview with Ben Stiller when he was talking about Severance. And, yeah, they did want to make it, like, they did, I forget the exact phrasing, but he said we wanted to explore what it meant to be a person of color in this world of Severance. And I like this because it's a different way to include, like, inclusivity in a show. You know, like, because I mentioned before that when they first showed Irving and Bert
mm-hmm.
being like a couple, and I was like, oh, are they just trying to check like a diversity box? You know, like, when I said check a diversity box, I meant more like the story comes second, and then first is like, oh, are they trying to, you know, make sure we do these little things so our show feels inclusive. Mm-hmm. I don't have that impression anymore. I think I like this dynamic between Bert and Irving, but with Milchick, this is cool. This does not feel like they're trying to check a diversity box. It feels like they're really trying to explore something with intention. Yeah. And it's not like they're saying, okay, how do we do something with black people? It's like the story is first. That is the first thing that's influencing everything else. And then second to that is like, okay, in the real world, there are issues of skin color. So how can we explore that in this world that we're creating? So I like their approach to that. It's there's like nuance there, and there's depth there, and there's thought and discussion to be had there, which I think is how you should do any kind of DEI in a show. Like, make it meaningful, make it like something you could chew on and really have discussions about.
That's true. Not just out of place, just check a box. No, that's true. That's true. Yeah. No, I agree. I completely agree. Again, we like the show, so we might be biased, but I second everything you just said. It makes sense. For someone who've watched a lot of things that I deem that's good and nicely done, and others that I critique too if I think they're not, I thought this was, to echo your sentiments, I felt the same fucking way. It fit the plot perfectly.
And I also like what they did with Natalie, and how, because I'm assuming she's mixed. Like the actress herself, I'm assuming she's mixed. Okay. So, and also, they said that she got the same gift basically. Milchick got. So I like the Natalie's actor. She's really good at being like this fake warm. Because when Milchick was looking at her, and she was looking back, and they were making eye contact, the control she had to twitch her mouth, it was so unbelievably subtle that I was shocked just at how well she did that. Like, it was almost imperceptible. Well, that might be a little too much to say, but it was so... For example, I don't know if you've ever looked at somebody and, like, maybe out of nervousness or whatever, their face might twitch, or like their eye might twitch, or like the slightest hint of a twitch if somebody's nervous. She captured that really well, so well that it's hard to describe what I'm saying without having like a picture next to it.
Yeah, no, I understand what you're saying.
Yeah, it was just so impressive that that's a level of control that every actor would aspire to have over their facial muscles. And in a scene like this where there's so many layers to it, and she didn't say anything, but her face said it all. Yeah, it was great.
But at the same time, that she got to keep herself in check. Like, hey, bitch, I'm employed by these people. I'm the freaking kind of what is her? She's like the public face of the public relations person. I was like, there's a big deal. There's a big what's the word I'm trying to say here? There's a huge amount of trust and responsibility that they have like given Natalie in this company. So for that reason, although empathy with Milchick, like resonating with, this is fucking weird. I understand you might want to confide in me. We're both POCs here, but no, I gotta check myself. Okay. Yeah. She's good. Like, some things when people act, you're like, how's this acting? Because this felt so genuine. Like, as someone who's black, I can see me reacting like that. But how do you act that? And there might have been like multiple cuts needed for this. Some of these, crazy shit.
Yeah, those little gestures are what separates the good actors from the fantastic actors, and then from the masterclass actors. Like, I feel like that gesture is the gap between like a fantastic actor and a masterful actor.
No, these little nuances, these little fucking hand gestures or facial expressions that are just should come normal in normal situations that people act out. Like, maybe improv, or maybe it's on the fucking paper to be done, and execute that seamlessly and perfectly like it's in real life. That's just fucking some crazy shit. But yeah, that's true. Mammalian, nurturable. A bunch of goats. Christian, notice they get to the door. Ellie asks Mark, is that it? And Mark's like, yeah, I think so. But she's been here before. Why is she asking, is that it? Anyway, you already watched to the point that I'm aiming at, so you already know. Regardless, it's weird.
Well, remember, though, there's people that might be listening that haven't watched it.
Well, we're doing 3 and 4. We'll cover this in 4 anyway, very soon. But yeah.
Oh, that's true,
Yeah, and then I'll freaking repeat all the little details that gave out intruder alerts and whatnot that I caught. There are probably some others that I didn't. Yeah, so a bunch of fucking goats, some weird place. They're just a bunch of people working. So it's like a farm, basically.
Yeah, one thing I want to note out before we go into that crazy place. So when Mark and Helly, they arrived at the door, inside they saw a miniature barn set up with ankle-high fencing and hay bales. Now, in the immediate scene prior, we see Cobel at a barn in the middle of a snowy road, and then in the very next scene, we see Mark and Helly walk into a white room, and then the first thing we see on the floor is a miniature replica of a barn. So the replica wasn't one-to-one, because it included like a water tower. I think that's what it was. And where Cobel was, there wasn't a water tower, I don't believe. But I couldn't help but think that that's not coincidental, especially when you consider how close these scenes are together, and how seemingly random it is that Cobel would be next to a farm when you look at that scene in isolation. But when you look at it as a couple with the next scene, it implies some kind of connection there. And now, I don't know, perhaps the departments of Lumon are meant to somehow reflect specific zones in the world. I don't know. But it stood out enough to me that I think it's worth viewing, or worth being aware of that they did that.
Yeah. Also, remember in season 1 when Irving got that letter that he was going through his Audi, it said Kier Place, as in the town. The town's name is Kier. Yeah, so it's not just Lumon. The subsidized apartments or homes that Mark lives in is by Lumen. Like Lumen has the credit lines. Like Lumen has senators that are now in the government senators. As in, yeah. As in, it's not that far-fetched. If I didn't pick up on that, but it's not as far-fetched if Lumen replicated outside as inside or some shit or paintings of it. I wouldn't put that past them because these folks have, like, it's not a dictatorship, but they've monopolized that part of the world that this show is being shot at. It's everything Lumen.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's some crazy shit.
So once they make it through a little miniature little barn, and they crawl through a narrow hallway that's filled with straw and goat poop, and it leads to this vast indoor pasture that's populated with baby goats. They're definitely given a lot of freedom because there's no. This is a recurring theme in the show that there's this lack of security happening. To the extent of why that is, we still don't know fully, but we did get somewhat of an answer before, because they said that the best way to convince somebody that they're not in a cage is to give them a sense that they can be free wherever they are.
Yeah,
so
that's what
all
Cobel
these
said.
Yeah, so like having the freedom to seek out the goat department, number one, and then find this little passageway, and then go in the passageway, and there's not a hint of like, no, you can't go there. Like, this seems like a room that, in the traditional sense of like you would want to keep this tight-lipped. Like, you would want to keep whatever's happening there a secret, because that is so different than everything else that's happening in the building.
That is
like,
true.
These are people with, like, the building is filled with people with suits and ties, and it's very corporate and very sterile, the building. And then you're crawling through this little tunnel with poo on the floor. And then you go into a room where there's goats and these people that look like they're, I don't know, from a different, like, they look like they're Amish or something. I
understand.
But it's like, yeah, they're given a lot of freedom to do this. Then they also acknowledge that, like, Lumen knows they're keeping tabs on them, but I guess they're just operating under the assumption that they're not watching super closely, I guess. But yeah, so they come into this pasture. They have so they meet Lorne. Is that her name? How you say it?
I don't remember homegirl's name. That's Lady Brienne, by the way. Brienne of Tarth, Game of Thrones. But yeah, I don't
really. I had no idea. Wow.
Well, you quit the show, Christian. You never finished it, so.
No, I got to the last season because the last season wasn't worth watching. But.
All right, Christian.
Yeah, so
the tallest woman in there, but regardless, yeah, that was Lady Brienne. Jaime Lannister's love interest. I wanted her to end up with my boy, but they never give him a chance. One of Jon Snow's friends, Wildwing. I don't remember his name, but yeah, it's that's true. It felt very weird. She rung the clock, rung the bell. They were submerged. Oof, Mark's little speech, bro. She one of us. Like, we got to start asking questions. This is not about an MDR shit. This is not about a mammalian neutral shit. This is about an any shit. It's like, ooh, I'm like, okay, Mark. It's just like, we got this little chicken vada out here, man. There's Mark out here trying to start a revolution. I was like, okay, Mark. Okay, Ibrahim Traore. I'm black. Anyway, people will know who that is. But yeah, it's some crazy stuff.
Get it? You have melanin in your skin.
Christian, I gotta let it be known from time to time. If both of us were so racially charged, this would have been like such a not good idea. But it's so good that we're like polar opposite. Because it would have been like, what is this? Like CNN? Like, what the fuck is this? But yeah, some crazy stuff. It's yeah, it's cool. They're like, yeah, she's a good girl. She just come here. All we know is that she retired. As in, it's in her downstairs. Like, she's no longer here. And one of the guys, she's told me my any excelled at stargazing. It meant a great deal to me. Like, bro. And then you remember the rumor that Bert told Irving that they had about them while Bert was locked in that room by Dylan in season 1, that you guys have pouches. So it's like, hey, can we see your belly buttons? It's like, see, pouchless. And even though the guy sees it, he's like, I still don't believe it. It's like,
yeah, and notice how, like, if there was ever a rumor to be spread by a department, it's not the goat department. It's the department that Mark and his team is in. Yeah, O&D. Like,
no, MDR. Which one? Mark? Yeah, Mark's MDR.
Yeah,
right.
MDR. Yeah. Like, it's just like, if a rumor were to spread, it would have to be something because your department did something crazy enough to eclipse the goat department, which just inherently is a crazy department. You know? Like,
yeah, how did it make its way there? Yeah.
Yeah, like it seems like everybody knows about MDR, but no one knows about these people living.
Yeah, MDR knows about no one. To MDR, they were only MDR. NOND. Yeah, MDR knew about OMD. But that's funny, actually. That's true. Some crazy shit. Nah, it's sick. And we saw too, Christian, Lumon, because control the narrative, what they do very beautifully. Like, how Natalie did that in season 1 with that politician. He's like, some woman is pregnant. He's like, oh, I don't, terms like that, you saying worky is the problem. You're like, no, that's not the problem. Women are coming out of your companies pregnant. Just, what about her husband? As in, like, to circle this back, control the narrative. She came to Devin and Ricken's home because our Annies are reading your book. Now we need you to write in any edition that's more centered around what we would want you to write for them to read. It's just, Christian, the minds behind the board at Lumon, like controlling the narrative at all costs, man. Just these people go to such great lengths to make sure that things are said the way they want it to be said. Like Helena at the end of season 1, because I was in some non-Lumon medication, which made me say all these things. It's just, bro, nah, man. I love these little details. Like, I love when you're dealing with the top writers who are trying to convey that this is a bunch of smart people whose contingency plans have contingency plans, who want to be in control at all time. Some crazy shit, man. But yeah, and of course Devin's skeptical as fuck, because Devin has been telling us in season 1, like, her brother's coming back injured, like, oh, they told you fell. That's right, they told you fell. Okay, I guess. So for that reason, Devin doesn't want Ricken going in bed with Lumon, but it is what it is. Oh, did anything catch your eyes in that scene, by the way, when Natalie went to visit Ricken about the book? Jesus.
Yeah. Do you think you would, if you were a writer and you were in Ricken's position, and financially it would put you in a fantastic position, but you would be low-key manipulating the people, the innies inside the work, and then your wife,
brother-in-law, yes,
expresses how she's disappointed in you even considering it. Do you think you'd still go through with it? I
would not go through with it, because this is hitting way too close to home. Like, there's a possibility that your brother-in-law's wife, who he's mourned, is not dead. Like, shady stuff's been happening. You've seen your brother-in-law come back with bruises and gift cards because he fell at work. Like you even said in season 1, he's done something that's ethically, morally, a bunch of other Ulis, like, wrong, but you stand behind him. So yeah, I would not have done that. But Ricken's character is so innocent. Just so, for that reason, I'm able to just not even give him any harsh judgment. Like, I love Ricken. Ricken's like a big child, which I don't understand how Devin ended with Ricken. But did you hear the quote, Christian? You need booze to fill the belly, but booze won't do it. It's fine wine who'll do it. And this is why the number one issue with the poor, the number one issue for sadness, some shit that the reason behind that line was that
I know the line you're talking about.
What'd you say?
No, I know the line you're talking about.
Yeah, so some shit because the reason why people that are broke are poor because they can't afford wine. They can't afford wine because wine's expensive. It's just some stupid shit. Oh my god, I love Ricken's character so much. Sometimes you need these characters. A show cannot just have like top minds all throughout. Like, that's something that Billions lacked. Someone that's just dumb. Or not dumb, but like innocent. I'm kidding, I love Billions regardless. But yeah, it's and it's some crazy stuff. Cobel and Helena's Christian. That interaction, I want my job back. Yeah. Everything I did, I earned. It wasn't because I was born into it. To which my girl said calmly, I think you've overestimated your contribution and underestimated your blessings. Christian, for all the movies I watch in my life, all the TV shows, the bad guys who talk the least, the bad guys who remain aplomb through whatever it is that's going on, those are the most deadliest. It just, like, she had every reason to lash back. But she handled that with so much stealth, so much character. What is it, Christian?
With grace.
Yeah. Like, oh, I'm sensing ego, hubris, arrogance. Bro, Jesus.
Yeah, she cut deep.
Ooh, she put Cobel in her place. just damn. But at the same time, Cobel's ability to discern, oh yeah, let's go speak with them. I don't know what she saw. I think she either saw someone in the car, which Cobel knows that that's Helena Egan. Cobel knows that that's her father's with the head honcho now. I think either she saw a reflection of her dad in the car to make her put 2 to 2 together, like, hold up, you said the board is ready to meet me, let's go. If he's already here, why'd you make a call? Or she saw the bodyguard's body language to be like, yeah, these bitches are about to kill me. Okay, so what do you think? What do you think Cobel stopped and ran?
I think it's the face of the bodyguard himself.
Okay.
He's an individual that she is aware of, and whatever his methods are, or whatever he represents, or whatever he implies is to come, that's what she was afraid of.
Okay. But regardless, discerning that real quick, that's life or death decision making right there. Just, bro.
Yeah.
She's like, she ran. She's like, yeah, bitch, I'm out. Just, crazy stuff. And then to circle back to the beginning of the episode, Ragabi, right, that told Mark, you can't burn through your retinas, it won't work. You need to reintegrate. And she takes him through reintegration. I love that scene. Oof. It's like, because we're seeing the gradual reintegration as she's asking the question. Just like what's this? It's this scout. Well, what's a dam? The Hoover Dam. What's this? Okay, what's that? She's increasing the volume. Yeah. What month is this? Do you mean what quarter, bro? Christian, do you mean what quarter? It's like,
yeah, the combination of the special effects and the acting and the music,
yes,
and the camera work, it really does indicate that the reintegration process is working in a way that's very stylish, in a way that's very like you feel it. You feel it happening as the watcher.
Yeah, and the minds are they're being merged as he's being asked those questions. Because what month? We don't go by month. We go by quarters. Because downstairs and on the 7th floor, like we have quarters to meet. This quarter, you're behind on quarter. I'm behind this quarter. Just crazy stuff. What is your oldest memory? Oldest memory? Him waking up. Remember what he told Ellie in season 1? Like I woke up on that table and I told the man, I'm gonna kill you. I wanted them to give us that scene. But they didn't give it. It's fine. It's not a knockdown. Like I wanted them to take us back to that. When Ragabi asked him, "What's your oldest memory?" and then they show us him waking up on the table. They make us hear Petey's voice say, "Hello, let me ask a few questions." I wanted them to give us that scene, like the same way in John Wick they give us the pencil scene in John Wick 2. It's like I love when they do that in shows or movies. Talk about something and then show it to you. Oof. I think they did that for Natasha and Hawkeye and Black Widow. The Budapest scene that they talk about so much. But yeah, some crazy shit. Reintegration is going through.
Yeah. So, 40 minutes in, should we move to episode 2?
Yeah, Christian, let's fucking move to episode 2. This will be an hour and a half. Well, honestly, Christian, season 2, it becomes a lot. The episodes are longer too in season 2. I texted you, right? I was like, because I wanted to just rewatch this before we do this. I'm like, this is an hour.
They were always an hour though, right?
Honestly, it might have always been an hour. Yeah, but just you're getting hit with so much more, but it doesn't feel too much. Like it's spaced out. Nothing's cramped, like in my opinion, but it's a lot at the same time. So discussion of episodes become longer if we want to touch all the fucking corners and shit. And there are so many nice corners. But I think we can breeze through episode 4. Although some crazy shit happened at the end and throughout. But it's just the whole thing, right? What is it? There's a fucking Ortbo, outdoor retreat, team building occurrence.
Yes, designed to foster team cohesion.
So it turned out Kier had a twin, Dieter, and they must Dieter, English not my first language, and they must retrace his footsteps. Remember when I keep talking about the blank canvas thing, right? How not so blank, as you brought a good point when you mentioned the point that you brought up last season. Irving, when throughout the whole journey, we'll cover the main points, but when they finally make it to Milchick and it's nighttime, and he hands him the torches, he's like, torches can provide both a heating and a light source. And Mark's like, oh, it's so beautiful. Because they've never seen a torch before. That's fascinating to me. The blank canvas shit is so sick. Like, these are basically kids. These are just grown kids. Yes, even the grown kids thing, right? The moment that Mark and Ellie had in episode 3 in the hallway. Like, you know when you have your first crush? Like, you're nervous. You can't kiss your first crush. She's nervous too. But she's just faking because we find out that that's a full-grown adult who's an Audi in this episode. But it's just like, he's approaching. He's kind of nervous. He's looking down. Like, they display that so well. Just infantile behavior for things that they've never experienced before. You know, because whatever the age is, if you have your first crush, whether it's at 40, 50, or 3 or 8-year-old, it's still the same process, the same like shyness, the same nervousness, anxiety, butterfly, and they showcase that very well as adults because they're innies.
Yeah, I'm not sure. Now that we find out in this episode that Helena is
Helena Egan. Mm-hmm.
Yeah, her Audi is infiltrated. I wasn't sure what she was thinking when they were in the hallway together. Because that seemed genuine, and it didn't seem like it was necessary for her to act in that way, because like that's just, I mean, unless you could make the argument that she was just trying to be such a great actor that because she saw there was a kiss that she would have assumed there'd be some level of awkwardness, and so she was acting like she was awkward.
Yeah.
But I don't know. I don't know what to make of that scene yet. I'm sure we'll get more about Helly's motivations, what she thinks as the story goes on. But for now, I think that's a scene to tuck away in the back and then to bring it out later on once we find out more about Helly's character.
And of course, this is true. That's true, actually. Yeah. She has all that knowledge. Remember, she watched that scene over and over and over of them kissing, and she even, I think, touched her lips as she was watching it. I don't know. She might like Mark. She might not like Mark at all. Because, interesting. That's actually true. Yeah, let's put that away. Because there's so much I want to say about that now you just mentioned that I never thought of. Like, she sees them not even as people, right? There's this superiority complex. Like, you're not a person, because I'm the person in charge. So how would she feel being down there with Ennies and having a relationship with an Ennie? Because we don't know if she has a boyfriend or a husband upstairs, because she's not severed. But that's true, Christian. Look at you, man. Good shit. Fucking saying some stimulating shit.
She ends up having sex with Mark too. I mean, I know she is a woman who is very cunning.
Yes.
But at the same time, it seems like there's a little bit of humanity there. Actually, I might cut that out because that might be in a future episode.
Christian, it's fun, dude. We don't have quotas to meet. MDR's not watching this. We can say what we want, man. It's our fucking podcast.
But it's just for the sake of keeping it scoped to these episodes.
Okay, but humanity, I can see how you would see that. She is trying to help this guy find his wife. She vouched for him. Yeah, she could have easily went down there and be cold, but remember, she's a wolf in sheep's clothing, so she must act like a sheep. So these displays of humanity and care might just be to reenact what, well, not reenact, it hasn't been done yet, to reenact what LER has done since she's joined Lumon. She has been a kind person. She's also been an outlier too, which she demonstrated also. Damn, Christian, you're making me think about a bunch of shit. Because remember, LER has been trying to get the fuck out of there. LER does not take this shit seriously. Like, this is a cult, I need to leave. She's grown to like the guys, but she still doesn't like the idea of Lumon. So for her to laugh at Milchick's story, be like, oh, the guy just fucking came, this is stupid. That is LER-like. But she's Helena Egan.
That's another one of the scenes that made me think she's human.
Yes, but she's Helena Egan, which means she probably cherishes the story, which means that's probably like a Bible to her. But to act like LER, she act like it's a joke. She make a mockery of it, which Milchick's like, fuck this, no marshmallows for you guys.
Yeah, that was kind of silly. Because it was a little funny because it felt like he wanted that gesture to hit way harder than it actually did.
Yeah, that whole exercise is stupid. Like, if they found a department who's, because they're being supervised, all those security's not as tight as it used to be. Because like, they killed Grainer. Grainer has yet to be replaced, and just. And then it's been
it's true.
Yeah, it's been chaotic. No management
Instead,
has
we
moved.
got a little kid.
We got Miss Wong. No, she's not. Miss Wong just took Milchick's position. Milchick just took Cobel's. Yeah, the security guard position is still vacant. And it's new management. There's a bunch of chaotic things going through Lumon right now that they're not able to like make the place as strict as it used to be. With everyone just following orders on formation and shit. But still, yeah. It's so. This exercise would have probably been more successful if it was less Kier-centered. But then again, everything is about Kier. It's a fucking cult for these people. It's like, bro, you got these motherfuckers in the cold retracing steps of a fucking twin who's dead. It's just like, bro.
Yeah,
but then again.
That whole, like when Milchick presented the passage from the fourth appendix, like the excerpt that recounted the story of the twin and how he met a tragic end at the waterfall. And then according to the text, his death was the result of an act of self-pleasure, which led into him transforming into the forest.
Yeah.
And then I'm assuming the tale was just supposed to bring up, like, the temper woe, one of the 4 tempers that Kier believed every human soul was made of. But it was just such a wildly outlandish story. Like,
yeah.
And then also, it's like because there were little things, like when they were at the waterfall, he was like, this is the tallest waterfall on Earth. Like, no, it was not. It was at most like 42 feet.
Yeah.
So there he's trying to put this grandiose spin on the tale of Kier, which is just like trying to make it very biblical, very religious, and
Oh yeah. Immortalizing this man. I don't know if that's a verb. Yeah, that should be a verb. Yeah. Because that's a god in their realm. It's just, so they need to instill that into these ennies as deep as they can. We are here to serve Kier. Kier, violent man, Kier. Kier, precious one, Kier. It's just, bro. Christian, I don't know why I find this woman so attractive. It doesn't make sense. Like, Miss Cobel just, it's like weird. I think, I told my girl this. I was like, I don't know. It's just.
She's pretty attractive.
It's insane. But it is what it is. It's some crazy stuff. And of course, Irving does not want to let go. Night Gardener. Bro, did he have a flashlight? Was he wearing a luminescent vest? What was he doing? Describe him. Oh, he's hooked. And also he's able to see. Woo, when he told Mark, I don't think you should trust her, but I know right now there's no way for you to have an objective point of view because I see the googly eyes being like you're in love. So for that reason, you're biased toward everything that's con Ellie, because all you see is just Ellie. And of course, right, like after she put it down on him, mind you, there's a heat in that tent, which is another aphrodisiac. So meaning some crazy sex went down, Christian.
The heat is an aphrodisiac.
The heat, of course. Yeah, Christian. You think children happens in the winter? Do you think? Wait, no. People get pregnant. Do you think the highest level of? There's no data for this. I take this back. No, as I'm saying, it's like this sort of as a joke, but I tried harder. I tried to fucking make it like it's an actual thing and bring data that's never been proven. But anyway, no, what I'm trying to say, there was a heat in the tent, Christian. The tent. They had a heater. I got I just know I can't go anywhere with this. Yeah. Steamy. That's what I was trying to get to. Yes. So of course, homeboy is just like pussy whipped. So for that reason, she's like, I'm ashamed. That's why I didn't tell you guys. And he's like, I don't care. I'm like, bitch. I'm like, your wife, motherfucker, your wife. But yeah, it's of course, homeboy's just head over heel and stuff. Like he's just like, I don't care, even though he saw. But he's also not as dumb as I thought. Things are happening to him that he's not sharing to the team yet. He's kind of skeptical of what's going on. Because, like, even, like, the book that Ricken read that he kept from the team because he knows you are supposed to dispose of this. It's not supposed to be Lumon property. He was reading it on the low. That's fine. He's been feeling these changes, but he's not talking about anyone. Like, seeing Miss Casey's face, that's like, whoa. But he's like, oh, no, we're good. I like that. Which is good. Because it's almost like he's letting this take its course. Something's happening, but let me get a better grip on what is happening. I don't want to startle anyone. I don't even think he's thinking it to that extent. But the fact that it's staying concealed until he can put his hand on what the fuck is this? Why did I just see Miss Casey's face? What's going on? But it's some crazy shit.
You think the reintegration is happening?
No shit.
Right now. Like
it's sipping in. Yeah. It's slowly taking place. We saw it at the end of the last episode. What's up?
Yeah, no, I guess. I was thinking like if the reintegration, like with Ragabi asking him questions, is happening right now, but that wouldn't make sense because it's the same body. So. Yeah.
No, I think the way. This is not even a spoiler. Like the way from last episode, right? How his outie self is able to have memories of his innie. Now his innie is seeing things that his outie probably think about or have done. He's probably had sex with Gemma and have thought countless time about that ever since his wife died. Not just sex, every moment, every memory of his wife. So for that reason, it's not as far-fetched that he is seeing Gemma's face, Miss Casey, to him as he's having sex with another woman. But we don't know what's happening. Like, Ragabi's doing her shit. As we love to see a sister help out. Anyway, we don't know what's happening. Yeah. Irving goes through it. He's like, you know what? Fuck everyone. And of course, Ellie's like, it's okay. He lost Bert, so we understand. To him, he's like, Ellie, I would never say some shit like that. Oof, the questions. There's one thing I don't understand. I was trying to find something in that vision, that nightmare, that infected-looking woman who was typing in the computer. The numbers looking all scary, and the woman like sneaking up from next to him. I don't know if there's a correlation between this and what he does later on. Like, from the writer's perspective, was this added on to him finding out you're not you? Like, what was the reason for this dream? Like, I didn't think it's... Or was that the woman in the story that Milchick was talking about?
It was that woman, exactly. I mean, it could be... They could just be playing into how crazy dreams are. Like sometimes dreams reflect random things that have happened in your day, and it's like a mixture of those random things with something really important that happened in your day. So it could be like a combination of what's happening with his distrust of Ellie, and what's happening with Bert, which is why he was there, and then what's happening with the story, because it was so strange of a story that it would stick with you. And yeah, it could just be, you know, a representation of all the ideas that are bouncing in his head and manifested in a scenario where all these different elements were like working together to create this weird nonsensical imagery. But there could be deeper meaning there, but there might not be. It might just be a way of extending how we see like the pressure that's building inside of Irving.
Okay.
Represented.
No, that makes sense too. Actually, I like that. That makes sense. Yeah, you know, like the next morning he slept outside. He's like, "Yeah, you're like, who are you? How did you get in here, bro? Like, who would have the power to send their Audi to the severed floor? Obviously, an Egan, bro. Like, we have a mole. She's an Audi. When she finally break character, she's like, do it, Seth." Well, another thing too, right? Even that, right? Is she's screaming. Even that is just a level of like superiority. Because what do they call Seth? Mr. Milchick. Hey, Mr. Milchick can't always be nice. You know, he chooses to be nice. Whenever Mr. Milchick shows up in a room, Irvin stands up. Again, you've touched up on that beautifully, right? That maybe Homeboy's been down there for so long, they've beaten the Lumon way into him that he's just now scared of his life because of his visions that he's calling his paintings of the, what do you call that floor? What is that floor called? Fuck, the floor downstairs? Testing floor, whatever it is.
Testing floor.
Right. So, for her to be like, Seth, just do it, Seth. And for him to be like, yeah, do it, Seth. It's like, bro, Irving is unhinged, man. I feel for the guy so much because he's going through so much, man. Like, not only these paintings, which is not making sense to him, that he's constantly drawing, that, you know, Bert, who he's lost, basically love of his life at this point. Homeboy just found love and got ripped out. Like, so much is happening. And seeing this distrust, like, knowing that he confided in Dylan, and Dylan probably told Mark, it's just, everything is hitting him. He's still lucid enough. He still has this moment of clarity to see, like, you're a fucking mole. With all these things happening to me, it might be distractions, but I'm fucking wide awake. It's like, nah. Like, it's some crazy shit, man. And Milchick's like, remove the glass glow block now. As he's been in on it too. It is what it is. I hated the fact that nobody stood for him. For starters, Dylan is up on the hill. Leave him alone. Like, bitch, can you go down?
It was why? Far away.
Like, why again, he's out of breath. He's out of shape. I can see by the running and the climbing down. Like, it's too much. I get that. But notice, Christian, nobody stood for Irving getting fired, even though Irving just proved something that's tremendous. Like, bitch, we had a fucking mole. Irving should be a hero. But because everybody has something at stake. Like, Mark right now is fucking in love and shit. Like, his wife, he needs to stay here. Fine. Also, his girl, that he didn't know was his girl, is now his girl. That takes precedence over Irving getting fired. Dylan screaming, leave him alone, yet that's all he can say. Why? Because it can revoke my privileges of seeing my Audi's wife. For that reason, nobody's actively combating this. Like, no one stood and be like, why are you firing him? Like, you allow someone to be here that's not supposed to be here. You've kept us from our real friend, the real LER, but nobody stood up. I might be reading too much into this, but that's what I think was some of that reason. And if that's what it was, beautifully done, like everything else. I'll give you the floor, Christian. What were your thoughts on this final scenes?
Yeah, it was this show's version of a death, which is there was what was a show was it Billions, where we were talking about how there's no death, like there's no murder in Billions, like there's no blood that's spilt, but they still maintain this level of intensity that rivals like a death.
Yeah.
So it's like we're getting a similar effect here. It's, you know, Irving, it's not like he's dead
in real life
in the truest sense. Like, not only is his body actually not dead, he's alive, but even that consciousness, they turned it off, but it's not like they cut half of his brain and threw it in the trash. Like, that part is still there and it's always going to be there. Yeah. And it's just like, from Irving's perspective, it'll probably feel like he fell asleep and then he woke back up. Yeah. If he ever is woken back up. But it still feels intense. because it feels like he's really just not going to get turned back on.
Yeah.
Because no one else has the power to turn him back on except those at Lumon. And if they say that he's gone, then he's may as well be gone. But it's not like it's impossible to bring him back. But it's cool that this is, like, they're able to make it feel like a death without it actually being a death that's happened.
Yes. And if you remember in the in episode like 1 or 2 or freaking of this season 2, when Irving was so heartbroken, right? Like, 'cause he wanted to leave, and he told Dylan, "I can't stay here. I'm going to leave." And Dylan said, "It's not leaving, so stop calling it that." Yes, to basically tie into everything you just said. It's not a real death, but it is death to the innies. It is death to that part of yourself that was created and only lived on that severed floor. And it's death to the innies who knew you on that floor. It's... No, the concept of this show, dude. The mind that went into this shit. It's fucking too much shit, man. Really thoroughly enjoy smart writers. A smart group of writers, right? I keep giving Ben Stiller credit for this because it's his name that I do see, and it's his face that's there to advertise his show. But if he has a group of people helping him, props to the group of people too, because yeah, this show is really good, in our opinion. But yeah, Christian, are we done? Are we clear? Is that it?
Yeah.
It is it. We're out. The thing I wanted to say in the beginning, Christian, I was listening to this freestyle by Close Contra. An old freestyle. It's already like 3-4 months old.
Should I stop the episode? Or?
Okay, it's fine, Christian. They don't need to hear it. All right, folks, I'm going to sleep. I'll tell Christian the bar outside of here. That's what it is. There are no death here. All right. Okay. We're going to sleep. Bye.
See ya.